jogging suits and even baby pram covers could be illuminated to reduce the risk of twilight accidents. When you're lit up like this warm bundle, there's no chance you won't be seen. The reflect effect has also appealed to the fashion industry with a new, trendy form of clubwear. Designers such as Gap, Polo and Tommy are using the reflective look in their range of garments. What do you think? You sure wouldn't get lost in the crowd? Reflect have offices around the world and producers are eager to use the product. In Taiwan, the Great Bell Printing and Dyeing Company is working on a range of reflective materials for sportswear giants Adidas and Puma. At its headquarters in Britain, the Reflect company also grinds power and produces Calvar, an anti-corrosion coating designed to protect against sea spray and other activities that cause corrosion. They plan to combine the two products to protect and illuminate tunnels, bridges, motorways, balustrades, even bicycles and cars. At this rate, it will never be too dark to go outside and play.
A giant Antonov 225 took off from Hostomel Airport outside Kiev recently and flew for 15 minutes before landing safely. The heavily reworked plane was originally designed to carry the former Soviet Union's Buran space shuttle. Industry experts say the AN-225, dubbed Myria or Dream, can carry 250 tons of cargo. That's equivalent to the weight of 250 small family cars, and could increase the size of that lucrative market. Test pilot Alexei Shalchenko expressed his enthusiasm after safely landing the plane. It's always nice to get a new plane in the air regardless of whether it's big or small, but a big plane always brings bigger emotions, he said. Antonov Airlines, an airline affiliated with the Antonov Design Bureau, has said the Myria could be hauling commercial cargoes by the end of the year. Antonov is also the designer of the AN-124-100, the largest plane currently in commercial use. It is a 120-ton capacity freighter known as the Ruslan. The AN-124 is aimed at a niche market for super heavy and oversized air cargo, which is worth more than $200 million a year and is dominated by Russian and Ukrainian carriers. Russia's Volga-Depner Airlines, which controls the lion's share of the super heavy air cargo market, has also said it is interested in cooperating with Antonov to bring the AN-225 into commercial use. The plane, expected to make an appearance in June at the world's largest aviation industry air show at La Baguette in France, was launched in 1988 as part of the former Soviet Union's space program. Just 2 such planes were built, and only one actually flew. The turbo AN-225's wingspan is 88.4 metres, and the plane can carry its maximum cargo for up to 4,500 kilometres at a cruising speed of 800 to 850 kilometres per hour. With a lower payload of 150 tonnes, the range extends to 7,000 kilometres. Cargo can be carried both inside and outside the aeroplane. The attraction was huge and visitors came from far and wide to see this mighty beast take to the air. Keep your head up, it might just be flying your way soon.
It's hot in India, really hot. In weather like this, where do you find relief? Where do the animals find relief? Special arrangements have been made at this zoo in India's northwestern city of Jaipur to save the inmates from a severe heat wave. Temperatures have soared 5 to 8 degrees above normal in the entire state, with a really hot month yet to come. About 150 peacocks have died in Jaipur city alone over the last few days due to the intense heat. Zoo authorities have been sprinkling water at regular intervals to keep cages cool. Sunshades made of natural reeds have also been installed to protect the animals. The Jaipur Zoo houses tigers, lions, bears and primates, and is also home to water birds and one leopard. One of the visitors to the zoo said they'd also been suffering from the heat. A veterinary doctor has also been called in, and electrolytes have been added to the drinking water of the animals to protect them from dehydration. Visitors have been flocking to the zoo in an attempt to keep out of their hothouses and find cool shade. Unfortunately, this is not the kind of heat you can find relief from, and boy, don't the animals know that. If you came from a climate that was usually covered in snow, this sort of heat would really take its toll. Zookeepers are paying special attention to the animals and trying to do all they can to relieve the heat and keep the animals as comfortable as possible. This is one zoo where the lions don't have the energy to roar and the monkeys prefer to sleep all day.
Scientists in the United States, working together with colleagues in China, have been studying the first dinosaur fossil to be found with a fully intact body. Scientists have identified it as being a dromaeosaur, a dinosaur thought to be the most closely related to birds. The dromaeosaur was a quick-moving dinosaur associated with the velociraptor and to the Tyrannosaurus rex. It belongs to a group of dinosaurs called theropods, who are two-legged predators with sharp teeth. The bird-like dinosaur was unearthed by farmers in a fossil bed in China recently. Dr. Mark Norrell, chairman of paleontology at the American Museum of Natural History, said the fossil was the first non-avian dinosaur with full body covering to be found. He said, "For the first time we have a non-avian dinosaur and we know what its complete body covering looked like. It was a body covering that was really fluffy, and it looked like a dust mop with big sprays of feathers coming off the entire thing." Norrell said the dinosaur probably had very bird-like behaviour. He described it as being highly agile, highly active, probably highly intelligent. The dromaeosaur find is the highlight of Norrell's career. He was very happy to see it and thinks it is the most exciting thing that has ever happened in his career as a paleontologist. One of the wonderful things about being a scientist is getting to discover totally awesome things like this.
Here in Colombia, hidden well under the ground, is an unbelievable sight. It's a chapel made entirely from salt. The inspiration to build this amazing building came from miners, whose ancestors sculptured an altar to pray for protection under a mountain first exploited by Indians in the 15th century. The cathedral has been chiselled in caverns 750 metres inside the Zipaquirá mountain, 50 kilometres north of Bogota. A slow, spiralling tunnel, large enough to drive a truck through, winds down past 14 stations of the cross, sculptured simply and powerfully in chambers depicting Christ's crucifixion. Completed in 1995 at a cost of $8 million, the Catholic Cathedral, which hosts occasional weddings and baptisms, draws 200 visitors a year, making it one of the most successful tourist destinations in South America. More than a religious place, it's also a tourist attraction. I suppose many people come here from all over. It's a very beautiful place. The architecture had a great impact on me and the handiwork that has been done here, said one tourist recently visiting the cathedral. At the end of the tunnel, there's a chorale gallery. Imagine the acoustics you would get from singing here. The salt inside the Zipaquirá mountain is white when moist with trickling water, but mostly it's grey-black and feels like typical stone. It can be fashioned into vast rooms, sculptures, or strong, sturdy pews. Directed by local architect Jose Maria Gonzalez, more than 100 sculptors and miners laboured for 4 years inside the salt mine, blasting chambers, chiselling rock and smoothing the crystallised salt into a majestic and peaceful place of worship. David Rincon, a miner who has worked in the deposit for more than 20 years, first extracting salt and now maintaining the church, said the designers created a sense of peace. He thinks it should be listed as the 8th wonder of the world. The town of Zipaquirá, who has a population of about 120,000, earns about $1 million a year from the underground cathedral. It costs $5 to get an entry ticket, but the experience is well worth the visit.
Here at the Moscow Zoo, these giant walruses are about to meet their very first dentist. Even carefree wallowing walruses have to go to the dentist. And the walruses at the Moscow Zoo have a special reason for the dentist's visit. With not a care in the world, the deep-sea divers entertain the crowd, while the team from England embarked on a medical masterpiece. The walrus's family name comes from the ancient Greek word meaning one who walks with his teeth. Very appropriate really, when these guys need a special dental visit to keep them in tip-top condition. The walrus's tusk is like a modified canine tooth that grow from the upper jaw throughout the walrus's life. 1/5 of its length is hidden in the jaw. The longest tusk ever recorded was 94 centimetres long and 27 centimetres in diameter and weighed over 5 kilograms. That's one long tooth. In its natural habitat of the Arctic seas, the walrus uses its tusk to get a grip on the ice when climbing out. In a concrete pool, though, the tusks were getting broken. The keepers fear that the walrus's tusks could become seriously infected and may even threaten their lives. The team of British dentists have volunteered their expertise to surgically remove the walrus tusks, a painful operation, but one that could save their lives. It was time for the big operation. It looks as if they're clambering to get in the door. They're either in a great deal of pain or they just don't know what they're in for. The team, headed by Peter Cortez, specialises in fang and claw patients. But even this operation is unique for them. They had to study the particulars of the walrus's anatomical structure, invent new instruments and think up new methods for removing a tusk. They also had to work out a way to safely inject anaesthesia into their patients, who could weigh up to 1.5 tonnes, which is more than a small family car. The dental team was unable to keep their first walrus stable under the anaesthetic and decided to treat him at another time. The second walrus, however, was able to take the anaesthetic safely, and the team proceeded with the operation. Zoo spokesperson Tatiana Arsenova said the operation would be difficult at all times of the surgery and that every moment is a risk. Arsenova, however, described the operation as perfect, and she said she was confident that all of her blubbery patients would pull through safely. 10 walruses will go under the dentist's knife during the operations, which are expected to last a week. In the end, though, chewing fish will take on a whole new sensation. Science, working with animals to create a better, painless lifestyle.
These beautiful, graceful sea turtles are at a great risk of being eaten, not only by other sea animals, but by humans. So an international coalition of sea turtle conservationists, known as Group 100, has been set up. They say that sea turtles, which are native to the Gulf area, run the risk of extinction due to predatory fishing. The group placed the alert recently because it's traditionally the peak time of year for sea turtles to be eaten in the region. But Group 100 President Homeraios Ardridis said tourism also posed a challenge to the turtles. One of the factors leading to the decline of the sea turtle in Mexico is the increased population on the coast. The group has asked for protection and enforcement of environmental laws, which would designate the Baja area as feeding reserve for the sea turtles. They also said the situation in the Californias has a huge impact on 5 species of endangered sea turtles and threatens the sea turtle population as far away as Hawaii and Japan.